The USA travel boycott is taking its toll. Thank you, Donald Trump. And it's possibly an FAFO for MAGA, or is it really? There's been a huge drop in the number of people coming across the Canadian border into the United States. There's been a huge amount of cancellations of future bookings, future flights, reservations. And if you're someone in Canada or outside the US who booked with travel insurance and has canceled for any reason, they can cite the fact that foreigners coming into the United States are being detained, if not arrested, for days or weeks for literally no reason at all, except their phone has some articles that say they're not Trump fans. That's literally all it takes coming into the United States. We are becoming the banana republic that somebody dog whistled a few months ago this country already was. So let's break this down. Let's answer the questions that your crazy MAGA uncle is going to throw at you. And let's remind you, click subscribe, hit the like button, join, whatever. Make a comment. Agree with me or disagree with me. Put it in the comments. Now, first thing, Canadians don't have to come to the United States. You have a president who's screaming that he wants to take over their country and eliminate their independence and sovereignty. You have a president in the United States and his team of people who are mocking their prime minister with phrases such as Governor Trudeau a few weeks ago. All of that is not going to make someone want to come to the United States. It's very simple. And Canadians and Europeans are doing the smart thing. They are joining in USA travel boycotts. Now, who does this actually affect? Does it affect Dollywood? That's a MAGA neighborhood if you ever saw one. Does it affect Dollywood? You know, that's predominantly a U.S. local tourist site. They do get some foreign visitors. It's not going to impact them as much. How about Disney World and Universal and the brand new fourth park that they're opening down there in Orlando? Absolutely. Just to tell you how bad it is, let's put it into numbers. When is the busiest time to go to Disney World? Christmas, New Year? Yeah. But when is the busiest time? It's the summertime when all the kids are out of school and mom and dad wants to take everybody on a trip. They go to Disney World. Disney World right now has so much vacancies and available capacity that you can get a dining plan that covers your meals and massive discounts on tickets for your kids. That is not a summertime thing. And it's got a lot of them. And it just popped up a few days ago. That right there should tell you that there's a lot of capacity. Now, you can go into a booking system and try and book a reservation. You might see one or two rooms. They don't have to show you the other 19 of the same class that's already available. Because again, it's the velvet rope scenario. People come to your club and want to be in your club if they see a line of hot people waiting to get in and a door guard. They don't want to come to your club if it's a busted door and some blinkety ratchety sign up there. So Disney's trying to make it look like they're busy, but they're also trying to bring people in with these deals. Deals for July and August, when Disney should normally be packed with people just buying Mickey bars and just soaking in the summer heat and waiting for the 2 o'clock thunderstorm so they could cool down a little bit. That's not what's happening. How about the airlines? Well, the airlines are starting to cancel flights. They have flights that aren't selling, let alone seats, and they're consolidating people into other flights to make the flights economically viable to travel. And we have stories, German tourists, all their paperwork correct, some other, it doesn't matter, Germany, Europe, wherever, all we have to do is have a couple of stories and we've got a lot of them. Somebody comes to the United States, they get harassed at the border where otherwise it would have been a breeze to come through. Someone looks at their paperwork and they see that their name says Robert and they put down Bob, an outrageous something, and they get detained or they get rejected or worse, they get searched and they want to see everything on their phone. And then they lock them up for a week or two and then ship them home. That person is never coming back to the United States, and neither are their friends or relatives, and it's going to make everyone else travel somewhere else. Now, you're a Canadian. Where would you normally go for travel? Well, if you want to go somewhere recreational, you want to travel somewhere scenic, yeah, you can stay in Canada. But how about going to Washington State? Crossings at the border are plummeted down from Canada coming into the U.S. in both directions. What about if you wanted to go to Niagara Falls? You might not know this, but there's two of those, one on the Canadian side and one on the New York side. Check them both out. Crossings in Niagara are just abysmally low for where they would have been year over year. It's the effect is taking its toll. You don't get to have the president of the United States whether you voted for him or not, whether that my president or whatever you want to say, but it's impacting everybody. And here's where the FAFO crowd, you kind of need to stand strong on FAFO. The nonsense that these people have wrought onto the United States is impacting everyone. But unfortunately, for a lot of MAGA, and I've encountered it personally myself in veterans groups, DEI means black people. It's just, and brown people. It's white people, whether they're white trailer trash or privileged waspy white. They want to get rid of DEI because they think it means black and brown people. It's like that old card from the Simpsons or Family Guy where he goes to cross the bridge. It has skin tone colors on it to say who's okay to go through the toll booth. That's what these MAGA DEI nonsense stuff are doing. Until they suffer personally, it just won't be enough of a wake-up call. We have a MAGA guy around the corner with billboards still on his fences and stuff. We're waiting for him to get fired from his government job, so he takes the signs down and replaces them with FAO's favorite sign, property for sale. Now, are we going to gloat over it? Are we going to schadenfreude? Are we going to film it? Yes. Yes, we will, and we already have some footage of it waiting. Because he needs a wake-up call. I don't know what it would take. And here's the other danger of the USA travel ban and all the stuff that's going on. The Jersey Shore used to put up signs in French late into the season because the Canadian travel schedule allowed people to come down here. The Jersey Shore people would take their kids back home because they had to go to Target and do their shopping for back to school. By the way, Target Fast still holding strong. Target stock is plummeting, still continuing to plummet. And as we reported the other day, and we have an update coming in, I think today or tomorrow, our local Target store, every time we go, yeah, it's not a ghost town with tumbleweeds like a Sears, but it is getting there. And the stores look gross because they're not being maintained. And this is a continuation of things that were affecting Target all along. So, it's not just the DEI that's impacting Target. Now, back to the travel ban, though. If you're outside the United States, if you're a Canadian watching this, should you travel to the United States? If you want to use our travel agency, give me a call. We'd be happy to book you. Outside of that, I understand you not coming here. And if you'd like, why don't you travel to Europe? That's where we're traveling in a few weeks, to Europe. You can go to Europe. You can have an amazing vacation, and your Canadian dollars and the world economy will help you better going there. And you won't have to put up with all the nonsense of the United States right now. It is better for you to stay out of the United States, let all the MAGA people in Florida suffer. No, Disney's DEI and they have LGBTQ rainbow people. That's the problem with MAGA and FAFO. We are all going to have to suffer until these people have a wake-up call. And who knows when that's going to happen? I blame Chuck. Chuck needs to be out. He needs to step down. He needs to resign. And all the Democrats in Congress, they need to come out and propose a legislation that's never going to pass. But they need to change the name of every farm bill to Midwest Farmer Welfare. And it needs to be right there on every form and every document. And that's what they need to start calling it at press conferences. Midwest Farmer or Western Farmer Welfare. Because the government's been paying farm subsidies to these people for decades. And they don't think of them as welfare because they're white. And they don't think that it's welfare because they're not Democrats or liberals or liberal tears or all the other things that hate-filled people post out online. So, unfortunately, if you're impacted by this on the downside, it's MAGA's fault. There's nothing that you can do to stop the pain that's coming. What you can hope for is that the pain drags them all down with it, and it's enough of a pinch on their arm or a pinch in their mortgage or their checkbook or, just a pinch when their hand is out there with that hammer, tapping down that for sale sign in the yard. Because, Joe Biden did a bunch of stuff to stop people from going into mortgage foreclosures to give them a couple of months of breaks in time. All those programs are over or ending, or they're going to get hit by Doge. So, should you travel to the United States? You can. There's a lot of stuff here to do. If you're concerned about politics or somebody's trying to take over your country or insulting your government, absolutely go somewhere else. You have my support. Thank you for watching Portside Politics. If you get a chance, please click like, click subscribe, click join, make a comment, answer one of our polls. We're trying to build the channel up quickly, and anything that you can do will help us in that endeavor. Remember, your crazy uncle, your crazy MAGA uncle, you just got to ask a few simple questions like, what are your sources?